All right. Where did you guys go?
I think we're here.
All right.
Hello.
It should be streaming live. Let me just check. There we are. Hello, everybody. Happy
Good
Thursday.
morning. Good morning.
Happy Trucker Appreciation Week.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully your morning is going good. Julie and I were just talking that, we feel a little like a beat slow today, but that's life, right? You can't wake up and feel like $1,000,000 every day. Although I know some people will be like, yes, you can. I'm a realist in that area. And I think that despite what may come up in your lives, emotionally, physically, mentally, socially, things change. And we are human and we react and we respond and we feel. And I think being aware of those things happening in our lives can be one of the greatest qualities, one of the greatest attributes that we can add to our lives. That if we were just to be like, nope, doesn't matter, I would be worried. and so this is, I think, why Julie and I wanted to talk about this idea of mental health and the brain breaks concept, was because we can't always control what's happening around us. Sometimes it's even difficult to control what's happening inside of us, inside of our head, inside of our heart, and to not have to fight that, but instead have tools and resources, strategies, techniques that you can lean into to help ride the wave a little bit. I think we can all find ourselves a little bit happier, a little bit softer around the edges, and seeing the positive and the enjoyment in life. I can remember a time in my life where I just felt like I was fighting life. I kind of was in the recovery phase and I felt like I had to be this certain way. I think we all go through that period in their life where it's like, I have to do it this way, or it's not going to be good, or I'm going to make a mistake. And it's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And
doesn't fit.
Yeah, I was doing these things that were supposed to make me feel good, but they were making me feel worse and worse and worse. And so this week during Trucker Appreciation Week, Julie and I, we want you to know that it's okay to rest. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to close your eyes and just like let yourself go to a space where you feel good. So many of us don't allow ourselves the right of that. And bottom of the story, we don't think we deserve it sometimes. At least sometimes I don't feel like I deserve it. Like I should be trying harder, pushing harder, go harder. And you're going to burn out. It's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. And we don't want that to happen for you. Julie, what are we talking about today?
Well, we are always talking about good stuff for the brain, right? I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for this week. And today, I know we're going to be talking about some visualization and some mindfulness and what that looks like in our lives. And I know that this is something that is dear to your heart and that you are an expert at. So I would not claim to be able to be the one to say, let's talk about this. I got this one because this one's all you, sister. That's what we're talking about today. But
Yeah, no, and
this
I'm
is your
excited.
this is
I'm
your deal
excited about
today.
this because this is such a great resource for people. And I don't think people tap into this enough. I know one time I kind of thought this was like, I don't have time for this, or this is weird. But all of the techniques that we're teaching you over the course of this week are really meant to help you lean into that need to separate yourself sometimes from what's going on or the stress or the overwhelm, and help you get to a place where you can feel good, but you also can make good choices and good decisions. And the art of visualization and meditation, there's lots of different forms of meditation, and we're just kind of talking about a few this week. There's also walking meditations, there's eating meditations, we talked about music, breathing, and today we're talking about the practice of visualization. And there's lots of research around this that our brain cannot tell the difference between something that is real and something that is not, between something that happened in the past and something that is happening in the future or happening right now. Our brain cannot tell the difference between words and thoughts about another person and words and thoughts about us. And so utilizing and leaning into visualization can be a fantastic tool to create some space between all the overwhelm or all of the frustration, or, the feeling that like, oh, I just like never can do anything right. Or like people just keep looking at me like the person I was 10 years ago and I'm not that person. Or, I can't sleep. Whatever it is, visualization, when leaned into, when implemented correctly, can really make a big difference. So visualization is really this idea of visualizing something specific, focusing on something specific, be it an event, a person, a goal you want to achieve. It can be a situation that you want to create or that you enjoyed being in previously, and you're holding on to it in your mind. You're imagining the outcome as though it is a reality. Now, interestingly enough, Julie, a lot of people do this, but in the negative. A lot of people do this over and over and over again on a daily, hourly, minutely, is minutely a word? I don't know. It's going to be basis, where we think, oh, I shouldn't have did that. Oh, that was such a big mistake. Oh, why did you say that in your conversation? You're such a loser. Like, you're saying all these things over and over and over again. And so you actually are practicing visualization, but it's not helping you. And so let's flip the script. Let's flip that to a different space. So when we use visualization techniques, we can also enhance meditation, enhance our daily lives. We can do things like reduce depression and anxiety symptoms. You can improve relaxation, help you fall asleep and stay asleep faster, to generate and create more compassion towards yourself and others, empathy, which is something I think our world really, really is in need of right now. The ability to cope with stress. So many people don't know how to cope with stress because they're not using tools like this. And just an overall greater physical and mental wellness, emotional wellness. When we are not emotionally healthy, it will play a role and a toll on us physically. That's those weird, mysterious illnesses that just pop up out of nowhere. Or we all of a sudden like come down with a sickness or a cold and have no idea where it came from. Well, we know where it came from. You haven't been helping your body in all these other areas, and therefore your body just can't do it anymore. So lean into visualization. So what can we do with visualization? Well, when we think about visualization, we first want to think and remember that to change your mind, your brain has to fire in new patterns and new frequencies. I'm going to say that again. To change your mind, your brain has to fire in new patterns and new frequencies. And once it does that, we can change our state of being. And during visualization, during the practices and the techniques I'm going to teach you today, and then I actually have some recorded visualization meditations that I'll post in the comments that you can do. They're free. During a visualization, we don't just want to think it. This is the mistake a lot of people make. If you've ever read The Secret, The Law of Attraction, this is the piece that they were missing. You can't just think it and write it. You also have to feel it. That is critical. And if you've ever struggled with depression, if you've ever had a low place or been upset or angry, what are you often doing in that moment? You're feeling the anger. You're feeling the frustration. You're feeling the sadness. And if you put that on repeat too often, it's hard to get out of. That's called depression. And so we can do the same thing, but the opposite. We can visualize ourselves successful. We can visualize ourselves at the top of the mountain. We can visualize ourselves back on that beach in Hawaii when like just it felt so good. The sun felt amazing. You were happy. You were reading your favorite book. You were with your spouse or your friends or whatever it was, or you're visualizing yourself winning that award, or retiring and your physical body feeling good, and you going wherever it is you want to go or do whatever it is you want to do. And you're there. You're not just thinking it, you're feeling it, because thinking plus feeling equals a new state of being. I just feel like as somebody that has been very low in my life, this is like the missing drug. Truly, this is like the missing drug for so many people. We keep reaching for things outside of ourselves, and we have so much capacity to change our brain and to change our outcomes and to change how we feel. all with something as simple as visualization and meditation. So
Would you
Julie,
repeat
what are your
something
thoughts
really
on that before
quickly?
I go even farther and share some techniques I want some people
Oh,
to practice today?
yeah. I'm so glad that you are letting me jump in here. You said something that just really hit home to me, and I think it bodes worth repeating. You said thinking and feeling is changing your state of being. Yeah, and in our society, we are taught to put everything in its box and
And to
to not
separate
feel
everything, right?
about this. And I'm not speaking to out there land. My finger's pointing back at me. For everyone
Mhm.
pointing at you, I got, was it four pointing back at me? Yeah. And we are taught that. I mean, that is the way that we are programmed, so to speak, is not to really feel it because maybe you feel like it shows weakness, or different things along that same path there. Or this is that you got to be strong. You can't be you can't feel. And so if you're not feeling, how are you going to make any real changes? So I,
100%.
so, so I think that is critical. Thinking and feeling changes your state of being.
And the cool thing is when it comes to the brain and how our brain is hardwired, is that we can visualize, think, feel all of those, the whole ball, and our brain will think it is actually real. It is actually happening. And if we continue to do this on a daily basis, our actions, this is like what just gets me so excited. Our actions will start to follow suit because we will believe that. We will believe that. And I just want to tell you guys that I'm living proof of that. Like, you have to feel the stuff, and then you have to keep telling yourself, even when you don't believe it's true, you need to visualize yourself as that healthy person, as that fit person, despite the obstacles. Yes, you have low days, move through that, and you will find yourself eventually acting on those things. You will find yourself moving down that pathway.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about numbing yourself from life. This is about enhancing and embracing that which you want. And so there's a couple different techniques that we can utilize to help ourselves to lean into the visualization practice. And one is a really simple technique, and it's called color breathing. Color breathing is super easy. And really, it's just you in a space on your sleeper, in a chair, in a few moments in the driver's seat with your eyes closed, whatever it is, you in a chair, you in a space, and you think about an emotion or a place or a moment in your life, or even in the future, that you were really happy, that the emotion or the positive vibe that you want. Maybe you want success. Maybe you want compassion. Maybe you want the ability to speak up for yourself, and like you're visualizing yourself, kindly and confidently sharing who you are, and people being receptive and people listening. And you're like, whoa, this feels so good. And then you assign that feeling a color: green, blue, purple, magenta, gold, whatever it is. Don't judge it. The idea is like, don't get involved in like the logistics of it. Like, oh, green means this. Doesn't matter. And you start to breathe, inhale, exhale through the nose, that color, like it's just washing over you as you stay in that space, that feeling that you're trying to create, that positive vibe that you're trying to create. And you just bring that color into your life, into your space. Now, if you're wondering, like, how long do I have to do this for, Hope? A minute. I would much rather you be all in, fully focused and present for a minute, 60 seconds, than to try to do it for 60 minutes. And you're like, what time is it now? Oh, is that the dog? Like, I'd rather have you be present, have your brain be fully present, have your body be fully present, and then just slowly add on from there. So we have color breathing. Another one is we have what's called a progressive muscle relaxation. So instead of thinking about something that you want, you're actually very present in your body. In yoga, we call this a yoga nidra. I do have I'll put it in the comments here. I have a link to one that you can listen to. And a yoga nidra goes through the body, where we tense different parts of the body. We fully bring our awareness to the shoulder and squeeze it, and then relax it completely. We do it to our face. We just go through the whole body. a progressive muscle relaxation. And during that time, you are practicing being present. You are practicing seeing the contrast of tension and relaxation. And so by the end of the practice, whether it's 5 minutes, 60 seconds, 60 minutes, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You have now moved yourself into a relaxed state simply by feeling in the moment that contrast of your own physical body. So that's called a progressive muscle relaxation, or a yoga nidra. And there's lots of different versions. But I will post in the comments one that you can do for yourself before you go to bed. Yoga nidras are great as a nap. If you are feeling that midday slump and maybe you're on your 30-minute break, or maybe you're whatever it is, like you can actually listen to one, and I can't remember the ratio. I think it's 30 minutes. I'll have to look again. It's like 30 minutes, or maybe I think it's less than that, to like the equivalent of a 3-hour nap of yoga nidra. Like that's how powerful it is for the brain to renew itself. And then the last one is just simply guided imagery. It's visualizing yourself in a place to kind of pull yourself away from your cluttering thoughts. Now, this can be made up or it can be real, but thinking, feeling, and being present in that guided imagery. And now with guided imagery, it's usually somebody guiding you step by step, like hold the doorknob, turn it open, and pull the door open. Step through, look up, and see the amazing, beautiful blue sky. It's the bluest you've ever seen. Walk up the grassy knoll, look over to your right and see the big oak tree. Like that, it's that type of guided imagery where it's almost like reading a book page by page. And the challenge, or rather the opportunity there, is your mind will try to kind of segue off, because we have the attention span the size of an ant in our world right now. And the idea is that, nope, keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back, and come to this place of pleasant emotions, come to this place of contentment, come to this place of one-pointed directness, of feeling calm and relaxed. And so the guided imagery kind of takes you on this place, or takes you in this direction, in a sense, away from your thoughts. And the thoughts become less and less and less. You are less emotionally involved in your thoughts. You're less tied to them. And by the end of the guided imagery, whether it's a couple of minutes long to, quite long, you finally have come to this space where you're like, oh, I feel really good. And it's not like your mind is going to stay on the grassy knoll by the oak tree, but the whole practice brought you to this place of relaxation, brought you to this place of separation from the cluttering thoughts that you might have in your mind. A lot of people during guided imagery have like an overwhelming feeling of emotion, because we tend to suppress. And so now they're like just free to feel and free to be, and all this emotion comes up, sometimes crying, sometimes sadness, sometimes happiness. And the idea is to let that happen, let that surface, let that kind of move itself out, because we are emotional beings. I want to say that again. We are emotional beings. No matter how much we start to look at ourselves or hear from other people that we should be, like Julie said, programmed to be a certain way, we are humans. And the gift of humanity is that we get to feel, we get to process, we get to be present, we get to experience all of our senses. And that's what visualization does for us. It brings in all of our senses. It brings in all aspects of ourselves and asks us to kind of be present in that. And when implemented, when using this, I mean, it is a very powerful tool. And the best part is, again, if you haven't noticed through the week, it's free. Like, you don't need anything. You don't need anybody here, you guys. Like, you can do this. Yeah, it's going to be clunky at first. Yeah, it's going to feel weird. You're going to be like, this is awkward. Like, people must think I'm weird. Like, dude, no one sees you. No one knows what you're doing in your head. And so I just want to help you and encourage you to lean into these things, because if you're not feeling optimal in your life, if you're not feeling at your best, if you're not as happy as you want to be, or as content as you want to be, or feeling like just you're not where you want to be in life, maybe it's time to do something different. Maybe it's time to lean into some new practices, new techniques, new ways of going about your day. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work and you're exactly where you were. But I just confidently don't think that that will be the case.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. I saw a quote last week where someone said, only a fool does what he's always done and expects something different to happen.
Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over
Time
again,
for
expecting
change.
different results. And
Time
so
for
many of
change.
us are caught in that trap, or we're caught in the trap of expecting someone else to do it for us. And recovery, change, weight loss, as much as I hate focusing on that, strength building, financially becoming independent or stable, like no one can do those things for you. Happiness, you really do, as cliche as it is, you really do have to turn inward a little bit and do some of the work. But I want to encourage you and put all fears aside, that if you can get past the weirdness of it or the woo-woo-ness of it or the stigma that you might have in your mind about practicing health in this way, because this is what this is health, this is healthcare,
Natural
you are going to
health.
find yourself in a much different place in your life.
I agree. Amen.
Amen. Julie, any
Well
last
said.
thoughts?
Only that tomorrow we will be talking about nutrition and some of those things. We've been talking about frequencies and things, some of those high frequency things out there and what that might look like for us. And this is something that I haven't worked on very much. I have done a lot of the breathing. Not that I've done the food, but as far as the visualization and things, I've that's not something that I have focused on a lot. And so it's something that I'm going to put into practice as well.
And it's
So I
so
don't want
easy, you
anyone to
guys.
think
It's so easy.
it's we got it all going on. I'm learning every day new things too.
Awesome. Well, and you guys, we are going to also post on Saturday, because we missed Tuesday. We will make sure
Correct.
we get you the content on Saturday. We'll have that live here in the group at 9 a.m. where you can watch those Tuesdays strategies, tune in Tuesday, and we will get you what you need to be feeling your best. All right, you guys, on behalf of Mother Trucker Yoga, remember, it's the small, simple changes that lead to the big results. Julie, do you have any final words?
Thank you guys all for watching us and tuning in today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.